Okay, good morning. So I have a new video for you. This one is a shark video, it's like a little kind of a breakdown tip video about suction issues with the shark. And I got a request for it, and I figured it's best to just do it through a video form. I tried typing it out, but really the steps that it takes to diagnose what's going on with your machine requires a little bit more. So bear with me, let's hang around, and I'm gonna show you how a nickel, dime, or quarter can actually help in your search here. Okay, so all right, so I've had a few issues with these machines, right? That and even the older ones. There's some older ones. I think like these. Is this the one? There's some ones that when there's a suction problem, it's a spring-loaded kind of the Dyson has it also, where when there's a clog, it kind of have this suction, and you can hear it in your motor the moment you turn it on. Maybe about 3 seconds after you turn it on, the motor is really telling you something is wrong, so turn it off, right? So what do? Okay, most people already know some of the things. You clean your filter. You check for clogs here and there, and then beyond that, sometimes you're kind of stuck. So let me use the simpler version first to kind of show you the way I diagnose this thing, and then we'll go into this version here. Okay, I'm gonna take this down. All right. So walk through. Here we go. Something is wrong. You're vacuuming. Suction's not working. All right. My first instinct, honestly, is to check the filter. Make sure it's not clogged up with a bunch of debris. And because if it is, remember, it sits right above the motor. Okay? So it's pulling down. And if it's pulling down and it can't make its way through this, we got a problem. So part one is this. All right. So let's say you've done that. And you're like, man, this thing is still not doing its thing. Empty your bin and remove all of this. Sometimes, I mean, you may not think about it, okay? There's nothing in this one. But there's hair and debris and all that stuff around this. So you want to get all that stuff out. You did that. You still have a problem, all right? So now I'm looking, I'm like, hey, I'm looking in here, I'm like, is this something I got to pull out? All right, so what I'll do is I'll put this back on. And where's my first point of contact? My first point of contact is right here for suction. After the vacuum builds up in the bin, is going through. So this is the first place I'm going to feel suction. So what I want to do is I want to take the hose off, turn the machine on. Let me just turn it on for the... what do you call it? For the just the suction alone. I don't want the brush because it's on my table. I don't want the beta bar. Well, then you have a micro switch anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, so now, okay, that's the sound. You heard that sound? This has it. So yeah, it has a sound it makes. It's I don't know if the camera picked it up, but you have the regular sound like this. And the moment the suction is closed off, it's going to have an additional pitch. So if you're hearing that, additional pitch, then that shows there's a clog. So now, so far, there's no clog here. Okay, right, this part, everything is good. So we're breaking our way down. Let's keep going. Okay, second point, right here. Turn this on. We good? We're good. Okay, we got suction. Let's keep moving. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. This thing is good. Turn it on. See what's happening. We got suction. Okay. Are you following where I'm going with this? All right. So what's next? The only thing that's left on this particular machine, let me turn it down a little bit so you can see. Okay? We have two more to go. All right, so let's put this back. All right, the next point, you should probably recline it because it makes it easier to take off, is this. So let's see. Turn it on. We're good. And then we go to here. See that? So somewhere in this line, if there was a suction, this unit doesn't have any suction, but I mean suction problems. If there was a suction problem, I would have figured it out somewhere along this line. Now, let's say everything, you did all of this, and it's still very weak, then your motor is where your problem lies. I've had a couple of units that there's some serious rust buildup. Sometimes people vacuum up urine, wet carpet, and the motor starts to soak in all of that moisture. And eventually it just can't take it anymore. So the motor needs replacing, okay? Which is possible. A lot of, you can still get motors for these things around. So if you got to that point, and also number one, make sure your brushes are turning. If you're having a problem picking up the debris off the ground and your suction is good, but then you notice that you're vacuuming and it's just not picking up, make sure your brushes are turning, all of that. I'm just trying to focus on suction alone. This is assuming everything else works. The brush works, okay? So that's when I'll say, okay, I think the motor needs replacing, okay? So that's for this one. Hopefully that was able to help somebody. All right, let's move on. And the rest of them are not that different, okay? They're not that different. They're really not. This particular unit here, now this is the one I can lift off the unit off of the, let me take this down. Okay, take this. okay. All right, here we go. See, so this one we can lift off. We can separate everything, all right? But the process is still the same. There's nothing new, okay? Should have got a chair so I could sit and talk to you. All right. Okay, so let's do it. Let's break it down, all right? So we turn it on. Okay? All right? So if there was a suction problem, let's start at the very beginning. Let's take off your dust cup. A lot of people forget about this. It's easy. It's very easy to forget about this. You're vacuuming, no big deal. Even easier to forget about the tiny guy at the bottom. Okay? So always keep these guys clean. Keep them dust free, because remember, the motor is pulling through this to get to the dirt. Okay? All right. So again, this has the same problem, okay, where sometimes people forget about this part that's supposed to trap all the hair and all the debris and all that stuff. So I check here, I see what my problem is. What's my first? Now, some of these units, you need this attached to the, like this one, you need the hose attached to the main dustbin unit in order for you to turn the machine on, because the power is in the handle. So you can't do the same thing like you did before. So what do? That's where this guy comes in, all right? So let's give it a try. All right, here we go. Let's take this apart. Push down, release the handle. I'm gonna check to see if suction comes from here, okay? Let's turn it on and off button right here. Now, you can probably tell by now if there's a blockage somewhere in here. Most of the time with sharks, the blockage happens around the curve, okay? Because let's say you picked up a sock, you picked up a lot of dog hair, and sometimes it's with a piece of something like a straw, toothpick, and then it made its way in. It gets stuck between one of these ridges here, and then all the hair and all the debris back up behind it. And then it becomes even tougher to get out, because you can't just You know, I normally use stuff like this, you know, like these little jammers, and I'll push it through to the other side. But if you have something pointy, pushing it through can rip your hose. So you have to be very careful. There are other things I would do, especially if it's between this little section here. I would get like a hanger, okay, and straighten it out. At the end, kind of hook it, you know. So when you stick the hanger in, and you kind of turn the hanger, as it's turning, is grabbing debris, and then you pull it out. You see that? Other things you can do. Let's see. It works better with this one. You know, let me show you with this coin. It works better with this. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you. Give me give me a second. I'm off camera. Let's go back into the frame, right? Like the actors is there. I gotta get back in the frame. All right, here we go. Like, so it works best, but I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna experiment with this. I've never used it with this setup, but I've used it with this. So I will get a coin, drop it. If I want to see, if I'm not sure if there's a clog, drop it in, and if it makes its way down to the bottom, see that? Then there's nothing is but if your coin stops, something is blocking. See that? Okay. So let's move this. I'm gonna try it for the first time. I didn't rehearse this one. I don't rehearse these. I wish, probably I should. But here we go. I'm gonna get a coin and try it with this one, but it's gonna have to end up in the dustbin. Okay, let's hope we don't get lost along the way. All right, so here we go. We're gonna drop this in here, all the way down. And if it finds its way in the dustbin, down, 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 down. And let's see. Let's get this dustbin off. I got my coin back. So you can do a coin test to see if there's an obstruction, okay? Or marble, you know, something like that, okay? Don't do a golf ball or something. You don't want you don't want something too big getting stuck somewhere in there, okay? All right, so we're gonna move down the line, all right? Okay, so the next thing is this guy. Turn it on. Test. Now, for the most part, honestly, for the most part, these wands, you can look through, you know. You can look through and see if they're clogged or not, but, you know, I was just doing it just for the sake. And then the other part of clogging with these guys, man, they'll end up right in here. A lot of clogging will end up in this little section here, okay? And so if everybody's working fine or along the line, but you still don't have suction down here, then this might be your issue. But if you're clear here, like I said before, if you're clear all the way through here, okay, then the motor might be the guy. If your suction is weak all the way through and there's no obstruction, if it's like weak suction from the very beginning all the way through, then the motor is the issue. Then you may need a motor change. All right, let's see if the coin test works with this guy too. Let's give it a shot. Let's see if it works. Recline. All right. Drop my coin. Hey, and it came right out. Okay. So if there was any obstruction, it would have stopped halfway through there. I hope this helps. Okay. If there's any more questions on testing suction about the shark, you know, just let me know. It works the same for the stick. You know, especially even easier for the stick, the stick vacs, because it's a stick all the way through. You know what I mean? There's really, you know, there's nothing stopping you from top to bottom to find out what the suction is on these guys. Okay, same principle. And again, if everything is clear and you still have a suction issue, okay, then the problem is definitely the motor, and then you just have to look about changing that motor. And if you're not comfortable messing with it, then you take it to a shop. All right. And if you're interested in learning how to do stuff like that, I'm really thinking about starting more of a Patreon type of channel where I can get into slower, detailed type of service. So someone, especially if you want to support the channel, because we have our own support tab for our web page that can support the channel that way. But other than that, if someone kind of want to get into more detailed type of breakdown, then I may just end up taking the extra time to make videos specifically for that, so people can go there and just kind of support it and sit down and take the time and watch. Because I think this format may not support that kind of long, drawn out type of step-by-step, service guide. All right, these are more like, okay. So I hope that helped you. If not, I am willing and able to make another video for whatever you need. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye.